What's going on, you guys? It's your Huggable Hipster here, and welcome back to today's video where another game is gone, another game is soon to come. But today, we are going to be diving into, yet again, another game review, this time on Amnesia Rebirth. So I hope you guys are doing well, you know? What? Oh, you like my mug? Thank you. You know what? This is actually a replica from the game The Evil Within 2. You know where you can get mugs and refill on coffee because it's the best way to heal yourself. You know, instead of herbs, you can get coffee. Do y'all hear that? She is a thick girl. Oh yeah, love that sound. Love the sound of a beefy article. But we're going into Amnesia Rebirth. You guys, this game, this was kind of unexpected, kind of expected. I mean, yeah, we saw the trailer, we saw everything about it when they were first, you know, getting everything ready, and I was like, oh my god, I was shocked. Then I kind of forgot about it for a little bit while I was playing other games, and then I remembered it, and I was like, this was kind of unexpected. Like, it came faster than I thought it would. I don't know if that's just me, but whenever I was playing the game, all of the memories from playing The Dark Descent and Machine for Pigs came back. I was like, oh, my heart. So this is a nostalgia trip for me. This is definitely something that I'm really excited about sharing my love of this with you. I also got questions about, since this is a new game, why I didn't play it on the channel. And for those of you who know, I have decided not to play a lot of games on the channel anymore and focus more of the psychology aspect of gaming and focus on more of just what I really want to do. And I found myself being really kind of bored by my gameplays. You know, I would watch them back in post-production and I would just be like, why is this so lackluster? So this year in the world of gaming, we have seen games released and delayed faster than babies being born after Woodstock. It's just nuts. I feel like this year especially has been so intense for game releases that, you know, this is the most game releases I've ever bought. I think I've gotten at least, 25 games over this year? I know that might not be much to some game collectors and some game reviewers out there, but yeah, that was the most I've ever gotten in a single year. It's nuts. We've seen several titles come to fruition, and some in the making for years, and then we see an unexpected title. We see Amnesia Rebirth come to save the day, come to bring us back to the past for a little bit, get those nostalgia feelers just buzzing all over the place. So Amnesia Rebirth roughly takes place a little over 100 years after The Dark Descent. For all intents and purposes, it is a direct sequel to The Dark Descent. Vitae, life. The search for immortality. Vitae is actually Latin for life, just in case you guys didn't know that, and it is the greatest search that each protagonist has within each Amnesia game. They search for a longer life and to remember who they really are. Just remember everything in general. So Tazzy Trianon, pregnant and on the move in a chaotic world. Quite frankly, Tazzy is one of the best Amnesia characters I think I've ever seen coming out of fictional games. The way that they constructed her, the way that they did her storyline, I found absolutely entrancing. I don't know, it made my writer feels just all like, oh, thank you so much for this wonderful character. So Tazzy Trianon is an archaeologist who wakes up after a plane crashes that she was in. She has amnesia, but she is recovering for the lost memories that she had from the plane crash during the majority, if not the entire game, and she at a certain point realizes that she is pregnant. She is preggers. She's pregnant. She's pregnant at a very increasing speed, I might add. You know, she goes from like just a little baby bump to like holy moly guacamole. This young French woman who is very much pregnant and is producing Vitae for 2 has to really keep her energy, well, not her energy, but like her fear energy levels low, that way she doesn't affect herself and become a harvester and become one of those creatures that she's so desperately trying to avoid. Like in the previous game, Amnesia The Dark Descent, you can run, you can hide, you can throw items, you can keep track of your sanity levels. Tazzy is more of the Lara Croft kind, I would think, because she's really kind of like this, in a fight or flight instance, she's all fight. She goes through and is put through every hellish, unimaginable circumstance while carrying a child and comes through victorious. I mean, kudos to Tazzy. Amnesia the Dark Descent and the universe of the 1930s, it really kind of ties together and molds together really quite seamlessly, and kudos to the writers on that, because whenever you're dealing with a game actually kind of as old as the Dark Descent, trying to meld it into one that as recent as this, it's quite a hard task. It's actually quite fascinating because there's this creation of this machine for death that gets turned into energy, or some cases torturing a person until their death to receive as a sustainable energy source, is one of the more interesting things I've seen out of a video game, out of all of the Amnesia games. I mean, the environmentalists would be proud. The first game, we used a mystical energy source that prolonged life or even made the person immortal if you used enough Vitae. In Machine for Pigs, which was 60 years after the Dark Descent, we had Oswald Mandus, who was continuing the work of Brennenberg, and that was his whole goal, in my opinion, throughout the entire game, was continuing the work of Brennenberg that we saw from the previous game. And now in Amnesia Rebirth, we see this manufacturing of Vitae. We see it on such a grander scale that it's almost like a machine, like a processing center of where it powers entire cities, and it provides energy for the Empress. That way she can have a long-lasting life or immortality. Love the mechanics of a game more than I do this one. This one, listen, they were smooth, they were not glitchy at all whatsoever, they were normal, they were just everything that I love. They were buttery, like everything that I love in mechanics, this game had. There were no glitches, there were no stalls, there was no nothing. Normally there are glitches in a PC game. You can't really avoid a lot of that when there's character transitions, or whether that be from like a cutscene or whatever it is, you know, from climbing up a ladder or from fighting a zombie or like a boss or whatever it is. There's normally some sort of glitch or little thing that happens. But it just, there was nothing, none of the glitches in this one. I was so impressed. I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. This is like a heaven sent. Now, in accordance with the control work, there was also amazing character design work. This had to be some of the most, I'm saying like so many good things about the game. You're like, Ariel, when's the negativity gonna come in? Because this isn't normal for you. This is really amazing because like never have I ever seen such amazing character work. It was kind of like I was watching something new and creative. These characters were unique and they were reimagined and they were actually spooky. Like I was actually like kind of like intimidated by some of these characters that were in the game. It was really cool. So let's start with the mutated ghouls, or the harvesters as they are called, which are basically like these creatures that gather Vitae for the Empress. So it can be harvested and they torture people to get enough blood and sustainable energy to supply for the entire kingdom, city, place. The sex monster is the ghosts of the otherworld alchemists and magicians of the time. Perished in the collapse and the destruction of the Great Gate, and if you go back into like the notes and everything that they have, I think they have a fandom wiki of this game. The game is still new, so I don't know if they're going to have it up yet, but there are notes and everything that describe who these creatures were before they got turned into these creatures. So when they were once human, they actually used so much Vitae and they became corrupted to an extent from the excessive use of Vitae and the control stone, so they could have more power over these ghoulish harvesters. So in combination with those two things, it turned them into these like wraithy seeker things that only look for like trespassers to an extent, because whenever you are in the path of this wraith seeker creature, its job, its main goal and priority is to seek out anything that is not a harvester or a ghoul, or actually technically a harvester is a ghoul, or a wraith like itself. So when you go in and you're playing as Tazzy and you get spotted by one of these things, it immediately spots you and it's immediately like, oh, you can't be here, get out of here, just let me eat your soul so I can give it to the Empress. Oh. Sip of coffee, because this part this is where it gets sciencey a bit. So scientifically, there is such a thing as Vitae. It's just not called that. It is called adrenochrome. Now, adrenochrome is produced by the oxidation of adrenaline, epinephrine, basically. This is a derivative of a carbazochrome, which is a hemostatic medication, basically. Hemostatic, hemo, blood. If we want to take this a step further, we can really put this example into light and into reality. Like, we're really going to take this a step further. We're going to stretch it, and we're going to, like, take this as far as we can, because this could definitely not be applied in reality, but we can try. We can actually use the example that the adrenochrome was made from the activation of the amygdala, which performs the primary role in the process of decision-making and emotional responses, including fear, anxiety, and aggression, which is exactly how you get your Vitae in the game after extensive amounts of fear and anxiety is produced within the human body. That's how the Vitae is delivered. It wouldn't make any sense anyway, because the adrenochrome is a hemostatic medication used to stop bleeding, and with Vitae you need a lot of blood. You need a lot of blood in order for this to work, so it's kind of contradictory, but like I said, we're stretching it over here, so it works for this example. So hope, a resolution, or maybe just Tassie's downfall, and let's go into the final thoughts. So getting to the end of this game, Tassie gives birth. Okay, you give birth to a beautiful baby girl. The doctor that you were trying to get to for the better part of more than half of the game takes your child away from you. No, he does not want it as his own. He is going to use it for none other than a sacrificial purpose. It was all leading up to the point of where Tassie had to make a choice. There were 3 endings. You could be the harvester, you could just take the baby back to Paris and heal her that way, or you could just say sayonara and get the Iconoclast ending, where you literally destroy everything, including you and your child. You wanna know which ending I got? I got the harvester ending, okay? I turned into a freaking ghoul. You know what? I thought leaving my baby in the wraith-esque ethereal hands of, you know, etherealness would work, but no, it didn't. I was fooled, I was tricked, and I was turned into a veiny ghouly goblin. This game was a masterpiece, honestly. It was one of the best games I've played this year, bar none. It was so great to go back to the roots of Amnesia, and the way that they constructed this game, it made me so happy. Like the notes that they put in from the orb room in the Dark Descent and the Brennenburg Castle and just everything, they tied everything together so beautifully. I loved it so much. It is one of the best Amnesia games to come out since the Dark Descent, and I mean that with my whole ass heart. Like it was really absolutely brilliant, and the controls, the characters, the monsters, just the ominous feeling that you got throughout the game, you know, of going past the point of no return, all in the name of conservation of life and the concept of immortality. But you guys, that was it for me. If you guys like my face and what I do, please be sure to subscribe and hit that bell down below, because I make videos every Monday, Wednesday, and double uploads on Friday. Stay casually nerdy, you guys, and I will see you all in Friday's video. Peace.